Morning world, welcome to 30th of August 2022 and some concerns. So this field here, we call this bottom plough ground. It's only sort of about 5.5 acres of grass. We cut this for hay in early July, and by now we would normally be expecting to see grass at least like that out here. Well, maybe a few strands of cocksfoot are up about there, but the vast majority, if you can see, is, well, it's kind of nothing. There's nothing there. It's been so dry that nothing's recovered. So the clover seems to be doing okay. The creeping buttercup, which I don't want, is doing okay. And the odd creeping thistle is doing okay, all with deeper roots than most of our grasses. I'm pleased to say we haven't got massive cracks out here, although in some ways, if we did have massive cracks, that would actually help with our subsoil in our pans, because we know we've got a lot of compaction out here. But yeah, it's not even done me the favour of opening the ground up. It's just parched. We'll not be getting a second cut off this year. This piece of ground out here, which we call the bottom avenue, up until end of July, we had a cattle out here. We let them graze it, we just let them roam on it. But I'm wondering if that was a bad move, because again, this is actually worse. If you look at the state of the grass out here, it's rubbish. This kind of wants ploughing up and starting again, but you can't even do that now because it's too dry. This is going to have a knock-on effect to next year. If we lay the cattle back out here and they desperately want to come out here and they really want to go out over there, I daren't, because I mean all of my grass is starting far too far behind. Will it be green before Christmas? I really hope so, but will it grow at all before Christmas? I have my doubts. The only thing that seems to be growing out here is the thistles. So at least some of our, I mean, this is bad. We don't want to see it, but this is natural subsoiling. If we had cracks like that everywhere, we wouldn't need to subsoil to lift our plough pan, because nature would do it for us. That's not really happening, is it? So anyway, I'm down here to look at the thistle issue, because Mrs. P said that there was flower heads on a lot of it. Well, there is a lot of creeping thistle out here, but not a lot of flower heads. A few. The thing is, if there is a lot of flower heads, then you top it. You come out here and you smash it up before it can actually release the seeds, or before the seeds can be pollinated. Sorry, before the flowers can be pollinated to produce seeds. But there really isn't enough out here to warrant topping it, for a couple of reasons. One, compaction. Two, fuel. Three, I'm cutting this as well. I mean, this is stalky. This is, I think that's cocksfoot. This is stalky stuff. Not very palatable, but it's more palatable than nothing. So there is a patch there, and a patch there, and so there's 3 patches of thistles that could do with topping. There is various bits and bobs over there, but sometimes when it's like this, it might sound daft. I might actually bring my Husqvarna lawnmower down here. You won't see it unless you're up in the sky, and actually mow these couple of patches with a lawnmower. I know, not very agricultural, might sound daft, but what's the point of burning diesel to top over everything when really and truly it's not going to do that much good? Not really. I mean, even this, yeah, the thistles, if I mow them off now, it's quite likely going to kill quite a lot of them. But poor grass is struggling enough without having its head beat in by a flail topper as well. Come on, you two. Come on. Pepper. Pick up. I've just spotted a ragwort. I'm probably thinking the best I can do for this ground for a minute is throw more muck at it and harrow it in. But I don't want you there. How did I miss you? You cannot stay there. I know I don't have gloves on, but oh, that'll do nicely. Right, I'll carry you up gently. I don't even blowing too many of those seeds around. So do you remember the silent movie from the other day with the stump, which is in the hedge over there? Well, when I finished with the stump, I just thought I'd come over to the stream pond and dig out a bit of the silt, and there was actually a bit of moisture in there. Not a lot, but it would be interesting to know if there was enough moisture in there to actually start filling that back up again. There's nothing running down the stream, that's more or less dead. But if there's moisture travelling down, maybe we've trapped some of it. Mind you, if we have, we may never know, because I expect the cattle have been in there sucking it out as fast as it's going in. But we'll see, we'll go and have a look. It made Pepper very happy me doing this, because as always when I muck out, it reveals golf balls. Dozens of the blooming things. Look at them. Oh, well, there is a bit of moisture in there. Not enough for the minnows, but a bit. Dire, innit? This should be running water down through here. Nothing. Apart from what's pooled in the bottom, which I'm expecting was actually being held in here by this silt and mud. That's the only reason that there's water in here. It was just held in the dirt. Yeah. See, ponds and cattle, they do not mix well. And if I want to keep this as a pond for wildlife, really and truly I have to fence it off. Which is a pain and an expense, but it might just be a case of I forfeit a corner of there just for the beasties. I'll think about that. It seems daft that the greenest bit out here is the footpath. You'd think that would be, well, it's counterintuitive, because I mow it regularly, which means a lot of the bigger grasses will not survive it. Only the smaller grasses will survive being cut so tight. And you'd think that they would be shallower rooted, and you would think that they would go the first, but no. You can definitely see it. No, I'm not cutting the whole field like that. That would be stupid. Do you remember that 4-year-old khaki bale of silage that I bought out here the other day for the cattle? I gave them a fresh bale as well, but they've pretty much destroyed that. Okay, that's probably 12 inches deep, 4 inches deep of stuff in the middle, but obviously they've walked all over it. If I let them finish the bale up there in the pen, I'll bet they'll come down and eat the other half of that. We can't afford waste at the minute, so I might just let them do that. We'll keep an eye on that. If they start bellowing for food, we'll check it again. If they haven't eaten it and they're bellowing, then we'll give them a bell anyway, but yeah. Clean your plate, waste not, want not. Pepper! She was down annoying the cows. Leave them alone. She likes to go and sit in front of the biggest one and sit there, stare it in the eye and challenge it. And the second that cow, steer, whatever, takes one step forward, it's on the nose. It's like, I don't know, dog and cow chicken. You daft creature. So this is the root of our problems. So that is what we had last month, total rain. And bearing in mind the month before, we probably had half of that. So I won't tip this out today, I'll tip it out tomorrow, but yeah. All right, allowing for a bit of evaporation, maybe we've had 15 millimeters of rain this month, although take that leaf out, probably back to 14 again. But that's the problem, it's not just moisture, water. The problem with roots need water, but they also need nutrition, and the only way they can get that nutrition, apart from the sun and what they can absorb for the leaf, which is very little, is what they draw up for the roots. Well, they can't draw any minerals or particles of anything up through the roots unless it's dissolved in water. So not only is the plants thirsty, they're hungry, because it doesn't matter how much stuff you put out there, if it's not dissolved in water, the roots can't take it up. So yeah, this is pretty serious, to be honest.